Good afternoon. Welcome to Long Live Third Parties Podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., a third parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard. Today I read the case Browne versus Bayless, 46P3D416, Arizona Supreme Court, 2002. Friends, today we're going to talk about independent candidates and third-party candidates. So stay tuned for the excitement. You will be excited. You are excited. You shall be excited. This case involves Harry Browne, the Libertarian Party candidate. I voted for him in 1996. Did you vote for him in 1996 or some other time? Let me know. That was a big election year for me because I turned 18. It was the first time I voted. So I started out of the gate supporting third parties. Ever since then, been voting for third parties. How about you? So what happened here? Harry Browne wanted to get on the ballot in Arizona, but Arizona had some objections to it. So let's read from the record. It says, quote, on August 17th, 2000, Betsy Bayless, the Secretary of State, refused to accept Harry Browne's designation of electors and nominating petitions to appear on the November ballot as an independent candidate for President of the United States because they were filed 2 months beyond the statutory deadline, end quote. And it also says, quote, the Court of Appeals reversed, holding that the statute impermissibly burdened the association rights of independent voters, end quote. So the Court of Appeals gave us a victory. Unfortunately, we don't always get victories, so we take them when we can get them. Hooray, hooray. So why are we talking about independent candidates? Didn't we say that Harry Browne was a Libertarian Party candidate? Yes. Something different happened in Arizona this year. So let's find out what that was. Let's read. It says, quote, Browne began his campaign for president in Arizona as a candidate of the Libertarian Party. He received 78% of the votes for Libertarian candidate in Arizona's presidential preference election on February 22, 2000. On July 2nd, he was nominated for president at the National Libertarian Party Convention. He ultimately appeared as a Libertarian presidential candidate on the ballots of 47 states and the District of Columbia. In Arizona, however, a split developed within the state's Libertarian Party, and Browne supporters lost the battle for control of the party. The two factions submitted nomination papers for separate sets of electors to the Secretary of State by June 14th deadline, but on June 20th, Browne's electors were informed that they would not be placed on the ballot. After his nomination at the National Party Convention and failed negotiations with his opponents, Browne decided to campaign in Arizona as an independent candidate. End quote. When he was going as an independent candidate, they said it was too late. He didn't meet the deadline. So what do you think about that, friends? To me, this raises the question, what are the advantages of running as a third party, and what are the advantages of running as an independent candidate? Would you do either? Would it depend on the circumstances? What's the best? This case cites the common reasons for these ballot access laws I'm seeing again and again, such as they need time to process it, so the deadline is fine. And they also talk about it wasn't the Secretary of State's fault that the Libertarian Party had their arguments amongst each other. So what do you think? Do you think he should have gotten on the ballot as an independent candidate in these circumstances? Fortunately, he got on the ballot in the other states as a Libertarian Party candidate. So ultimately it says, quote, for the foregoing reasons, we hold that the filing deadline imposed by ARS 16341 does not impermissibly burden the association rights of independent voters. The opinion of the Court of Appeals is vacated and the trial court's order is affirmed. Each side will bear its own cost and attorney fees. End quote. So friends, if you don't like independent candidates and you like third parties, maybe you don't want independent candidates to get on the ballot. But I don't think that would be the case. I would imagine if you like third parties, you're also fine with independent candidates. You might think third parties are the best way to run campaigns, but independent candidates have legitimacy too. I personally see validity in both of them, so I would definitely be willing to support them. Third parties would be great. Independents would be great. I don't see why you would have to run as an independent, because even if you had no official party, you could just make up your own party, right? You start your own party. You could nominate yourself. So maybe third parties is better, maybe independents are better. Let me know what you think about third parties and independents. And let me know what you think about whether Harry Browne should have gotten the ballot this year in Arizona. Long live third parties. Goodbye.